Hey, what do you say? Here I'm just sharing a little project that I had made recently. And this is just a attachment you can add on to a manual hand dredge. If you're pumping material into a bucket. And it was pretty simple to do. This was just a downspout adapter right here that you can get at Home Depot. They have similar ones to Lowe's, and then this I think is either a 3 or a 4-inch adapter that goes to a 1.5-inch PVC pipe. And then this is just for a union, so you can attach it to a hose. I'm using a 2-inch hose. And I tested it out at the creek the other day, and it did work. There was a couple issues that I had to deal with, and it was mainly because of my hose was so stiff that when you were moving around, this was moving around too, and I'd prefer it to be steel. And I was kind of leaning this back on a rock, kind of like that or something, and then, pumping the material into this. And it worked. I mean, it filled up the bucket, and the goal was to really get all the gold collected in this pre-attachment going into the bucket. It's like a little mini gold concentration device, and to catch the gold before it even gets into the bucket, so you don't even have to deal with the bucket of material. All your gold will be in here. And my first test did catch a piece of gold in here, and I filled up, a quarter of a bucket full of material, quarter, maybe even a half of a 5-gallon bucket of material. And it caught one piece of gold in here, and there was no gold in the bucket. So it did work. I might end up having to do some modifications to this, where I can attach this to make it more stable to either a rock or attach something to the ground to hold this steady, or to get a less stiff hose so it stays put better. This is just, your leak tight type of lid with a gasket inside of it to keep it from leaking. And I just drilled out 3 holes to let water out, and a square hole to accommodate this. And you can put it in, and then in here, I siliconed the inside of that, siliconed the back, and I ended up buying some O-rings to go around this bushing here, and they're on the inside of this. I ended up putting 3, and you can see one of them down there. And that's just to keep water from leaking out. And then I also siliconed it to prevent dirt, gold, and stuff sinking back into these cracks. And so far, testing is pretty good. I have another thing I'm working on that attaches this, and it's going to float. It's basically, since this caught the gold going into that bucket, I made an extension for this that I will show in my next project to bypass that bucket altogether, so you don't have to deal with that. And this is just going to be a gold concentration device. It's going to be a lot longer, and it's going to float. So keep an eye out for that one. I figured I'd share this. This was not too expensive to make if you do a lot of manual dredging, cleaning off bedrock, pumping it into a bucket. This can bypass you having to pan out that bucket. I still have to do a little more testing on it, but my first test was quite impressive. This did catch the gold that was in that I picked up with the manual dredge right in this container, and the gold never made it to the bucket. So thought I would share and keep an eye out for my next project about my floating gold concentrator. Till next time, talk to y'all later. Peace out.